Forget the South China Sea. Forget the Taiwan Strait. While the world's gaze remains fixed on those flashpoints, a far more subtle yet equally volatile geopolitical drama is unfolding in a body of water often overlooked, the Bay of Bengal. This isn't just about shipping lanes or fishing rights. It's about a vast, resource-rich expanse that is rapidly becoming the most critical arena in the escalating great power competition between rising giants and established hegemonies. It connects China's underbelly to Africa and the Middle East. It sits directly on top of the world's most important energy corridors, and it is where the United States, China, and India are now locked in a slow-motion standoff that is intensifying every single year. Its geographic position is paramount. To its east lies the critical Strait of Malacca, the world's busiest shipping lane, through which an estimated 80% of China's oil imports pass. To its west, the Indian subcontinent is a demographic behemoth with an economy projected to be the third largest globally within the decade. And beneath its often turbulent waters lie vast untapped reserves of hydrocarbons, oil and natural gas, enough to potentially fuel nations for decades. This combination of strategic location, vital trade routes, and immense natural wealth has transformed the bay from a maritime periphery into a geopolitical epicenter. And the primary players vying for influence here are clear. China, with its insatiable demand for resources and its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, and India, viewing the bay as its backyard, a vital shield and springboard for its own regional aspirations. Looming in the background, of course, are the United States and its allies, acutely aware of the bay's significance in maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific. Let's start with China. Beijing's strategy in the Bay of Bengal is multifaceted, driven by a deep-seated need to secure its energy lifelines and project its power beyond its immediate coastline. This is where the concept of the Malacca dilemma comes into play. China is acutely vulnerable to any potential blockade of the Malacca Strait, a choke point that could cripple its economy. As a result, China has been aggressively pursuing alternative routes and establishing strategic footholds in countries bordering the bay. One of the most prominent examples of this strategy is the China-Myanmar Economic Corridor. This ambitious project aims to connect China's landlocked Yunnan province directly to the Bay of Bengal via a pipeline and railway network to Myanmar. This pipeline, already operational, transports oil and natural gas, reducing China's reliance on the vulnerable sea lanes. But the project is far more than just energy security. It's about power projection. A deep-sea port controlled or heavily influenced by China in the Bay of Bengal would provide its growing navy, the People's Liberation Army Navy, with crucial access and logistical support far from its home waters. This raises obvious alarm bells in New Delhi and Washington. In Sri Lanka, China built the Hambantota port. When Sri Lanka couldn't repay its loans, China took a 99-year lease on the port in 2017. Critics immediately labeled this debt trap diplomacy. China called it a normal business arrangement. But here's the uncomfortable truth. A Chinese-operated deep-water port capable of docking naval vessels now sits just 200 miles off the southern tip of India. India, understandably, views these developments with deep suspicion and concern. For New Delhi, the Bay of Bengal is unequivocally its strategic domain. The bay guards India's eastern flank. Its Andaman and Nicobar Islands act as a natural aircraft carrier chain protecting its maritime approaches, and its eastern coast hosts critical naval bases. The increasing Chinese presence, therefore, is perceived as a direct encroachment on India's security interests. India's response has been both defensive and assertive. Defensively, it's been rapidly modernizing its own navy, enhancing surveillance capabilities, and strengthening its island territories. Assertively, India is pursuing its own brand of Act East policy, deepening engagement with littoral states, and developing its own port infrastructure projects. This project aims to connect India's landlocked northeastern states to the Bay of Bengal, offering an alternative trade route and reducing reliance on the politically sensitive Chicken's Neck corridor through Bangladesh. It's a clear sign from India that it will not cede influence in its backyard without a fight. Furthermore, India is actively engaging in naval diplomacy and joint exercises with key partners. The QUAD, comprising India, the United States, Japan, and Australia, is increasingly focused on maritime security in the Indo-Pacific, with the Bay of Bengal often a key area of discussion and cooperation. But the competition isn't just about ports and pipelines, it's also about energy. The Bay of Bengal is estimated to hold significant untapped oil and natural gas reserves. Bangladesh, for instance, has opened up new blocks for exploration, attracting interest from international energy companies. The potential for lucrative contracts and energy independence adds another layer of complexity and competition. And then there's the United States. Washington's strategic pivot to the Indo-Pacific has been the defining foreign policy project of the last 15 years, a project that has accelerated under every single administration, regardless of party. And while most of the public attention has focused on Taiwan and the South China Sea, the Bay of Bengal has been quietly woven into American strategy in ways that are just beginning to become visible. American P-8 Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, the most advanced submarine hunters on the planet, now fly regularly from Indian bases over the Bay of Bengal, tracking Chinese submarines. American carrier strike groups transit the bay with increasing frequency, exercises that are coordinated with Indian naval movements. The message being sent to Beijing is subtle but unmistakable. This water is not yours. What are the potential flashpoints? One immediate concern is the increasing frequency of naval encounters. As more ships from different nations operate in close proximity, the risk of miscalculation or accidental collision increases. A minor incident could rapidly escalate, especially in an environment of heightened geopolitical tension. Another flashpoint could be resource competition. If significant new hydrocarbon reserves are discovered and fall under disputed ownership, the potential for confrontation could be immense. We've seen such disputes fuel tensions elsewhere in the world. Real incidents are already happening. Chinese fishing fleets often swarm disputed zones in disguise. Indian fishermen clash with Bangladesh or Sri Lanka boats. In 2025, Bangladesh's missile drills came within shouting distance of Indian waters. Chinese naval vessels increasingly transit the bay, shadowing Indian ships. Terrorism and piracy are rising. The bay's vastness hides bad actors. A major incident, say an oil tanker is attacked, and suddenly everyone blames everyone else. The Bay of Bengal serves as a stark reminder that the next great power conflict may not begin with a bang in a widely anticipated flashpoint, but with a series of subtle, calculated moves on a seemingly tranquil maritime chessboard. Keeping a watchful eye on this often overlooked body of water is no longer optional. It is critical for understanding the future of Asian and indeed global geopolitics. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.